How much nostalgia is too much nostalgia? Just ask fans of The Mandalorian, who may be about to revisit a few very unwelcome memories. Observant fans will be able to find echoes of previous franchise installments hidden within nearly any modern Star Wars movie or show. The Mandalorian might represent the platonic ideal of this trend, especially since the recent Season 3 premiere already seems to be gearing up for plenty of deep cuts, unexpected connections, and a general appreciation of all the things fans love about this franchise. But some parallels are a little more welcome than others, to say the least. And if one particular subplot introduced in The Apostate, the Season 3 opener, pans out the way it appears it might, well, fans are likely to experience a flashback to one of the most maligned entries in the entire Star Wars canon.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme, every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
So, what's the limit on Star Wars poetry? Well, the line's probably crossed once The Rise of Skywalker enters the picture. No, it wasn't the return of Babu Frick's species of alien that sent a chill up the spine of many a Mandalorian fan. Instead, creator and writer Jon Favreau made the unexpected decision to bring back a very familiar face, the bounty hunter droid IG-11. If the droid gets a full-blown comeback, his poignant self-sacrifice from Season 1 may just be undone. Of course, it's not a stretch in the Star Wars universe for characters once presumed dead to suddenly reappear again. Remember when Boba Fett lived to fight another day after tumbling into a Sarlacc pit, before showing up in both The Mandalorian and its spin-off series The Book of Boba Fett? Or when Sith Lord Darth Maul managed to survive being sliced and diced in The Phantom Menace, returning to seek vengeance against Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars and Rebels. But there comes a point when fake-out deaths start to strain even the low standards Star Wars set for the suspension of disbelief, and everything tips into much more hackneyed territory. The Force Awakens took that route by magically having R2-D2 wake himself up from a droid coma at the end of the film, just when it was most convenient to the plot. A couple of movies later, J.J. Abrams returned to the well with The Rise of Skywalker, going even further with a double whammy of death fake-outs involving two of the most beloved characters in the entire franchise, Chewbacca and C-3PO.
He's on my ship. He's alive.
What? How?
He's alive! He must have been on a different transport!
Fast forward to The Mandalorian, and it seems like we're in for a repeat of some of these much-hated Rise of Skywalker moments. Mando's journey to find atonement in the devastated Mandalorian homeworld takes a detour when he finds a statue made up of parts from his old friend IG-11, giving him the idea to try reviving the droid in the hopes that he can help him on his quest. Things don't go as planned, of course, as the droid wakes up and reverts to his old violent programming. But the setup is in place for an ill-advised return from the dead. Granted, we're still incredibly early in Season 3, and the presumed return of IG-11 after his grand self-sacrifice could very well justify itself in a few weeks' time. But even at such an early juncture, all the warning signs are there for a misguided subplot that completely undercuts one of the show's most touching and meaningful scenes. If even a side character as minor as IG-11 can be brought back on a whim despite the finality of his demise, then that raises questions about how invested we should remain in the fates of any character in The Mandalorian. In a vacuum, this would merely feel like a small misstep in the long run, but combined with some of the show's other contentious choices, such as walking back Mando and Grogu's parting of ways, it suggests that the show is no longer willing to commit to any meaningful consequences. The Mandalorian has 7 more episodes left to convince viewers that the story is actually leading somewhere. While this one subplot alone doesn't indicate much one way or another, the parallels to The Rise of Skywalker will be enough to raise at least a few eyebrows.